What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. There have been a ton of fantastic forecasting rumors in the last couple of months, mostly focused on the teams themselves. Everyone from the normal John Krasinski and Emily Blunt for Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic to this most recent report that had Seth Rogan as the thing. Now, regardless if there's any validity to it, we haven't had really much talk about whom the villain may be yet. In the last 7 days, there's been a rumor that's going around. It's sort of hard to attribute it to any one industry insider, but the name has popped up a couple of times, and like I said, with an actor attached. And in my exhaustive research to try to trace this one to the source, I actually found a similar report from an industry insider years ago, and the name definitely won't surprise you. As far as the villain goes, it's someone I don't think anybody saw coming. Okay, you'll get that joke here in a minute. We're breaking down who's the possible villain for Fantastic Four, their first film, and why it would make a lot of sense based on some actual comic accuracy. And what's more than that, a major Easter egg that may have already been sown by the MCU in early Phase 4. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content like this kind of video every single day, and that's all we do. We also are giving away a ton of PlayStations this year as we push up to 1 million subscribers. We're literally just weeks away from the next giveaway. So if you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so the rumor is that actor Robin Lord Taylor is being looked at to play Mole Man in the upcoming Marvel Studios Fantastic Four. And while the two places that this seemingly came from as a rumor in the last 7 days have not near the track record of the normal industry insider anonymous Twitter scoopster we re-report with confidence, this is actually mirrored by a different report coming from the OG himself, Mikey Sutton, and years ago, that Mole Man was indeed being looked at as one of the first villains Marvel would introduce against the Fantastic Four, not just because the comic accuracy of it being their first comic villain, but Mole Man is actually one of the very first villains in the Marvel proper that was the realigning of the comic book company, and it could be now with the first family back home at Marvel Studios and their third attempt at a cinematic try for this team that they want to pay a little bit of homage and do the first villain as well. Now, obviously, Mole Man is going to need a lot of modernizing if they're going to use him in any sort of interesting way in the MCU, and up till now they've been able to do that. But still, when you've got classic Fantastic Four villains like Kang already involved in the MCU, it's hard for me to see how they wouldn't be at least addressing him, and maybe sooner than later showing up first in Ant-Man Quantumania, which, as the name would imply, is going to take place at least in part in the quantum realm, where I think the Fantastic Four may have been this entire time. Now, knowing Mole Man is a subterranean villain, there may be some want to try to connect that in some way to the quantum realm. I guess technically it is subterranean. It's way, way, way down there, but that's really not how his story normally goes. It's more like hanging out underground and making plans to rule the surface world. Yep, nope, that's really it. I mean, these comics are really old. Again, he's going to need a ton of modernizing. While I do think, at least on the surface level, get it? Like, surface level? Ah, man, I'm killing it right now. This character does make sense in light of everything we've already heard with the Fantastic Four. See the report of Glenn Howerton as Mr. Fantastic and Seth Rogan as the Thing. Maybe they're taking a lighthearted approach, or at least a more lighthearted approach to this film than the first two Fox iterations. That is just conjecture. But somewhere in the prologue, right after I made that silly joke about nobody seeing him coming when referring to Mole Man, get it, he's blind, moles are blind, I also mentioned that Marvel might have already seeded an Easter egg in the Eternals, and hear me out. Okay, this coming directly from his Wikipedia page. Mole Man was originally Harvey Rupert Elder, an American nuclear engineer and explorer. Elder was socially shunned due to a combination of his abrasive personality and his homely dwarfish appearance. Furthermore, his fellow explorers ridiculed him for his eccentric, crackpot theories regarding a hollow Earth. In 1956, while following a group of explorers called Monster Hunters, he stumbled upon Monster Isle, which was at the time the base of Deviant Warlord Crow. Now, Warlord Crow, you guys remember Deviant Warlord Crow, we just saw him in the Eternals, and where I think this hollow Earth theory could fit nicely into what we just saw out of the Eternals is now that Tiamat has birthed in the Indian Ocean, he would have left an entire cavern underneath ground where he was before he birthed. That would make for a hollow Earth, and you could have him simply be a scientist who had been on to what was going on with Tiamat, or at least in part trying to track that the whole time. Of course, he would sound like a crazy person to other scientists saying, hey, there's a celestial, there's a hollow spot in the middle of our Earth. The cavern left there can become subterranean, where Mole Man will reside. Still, as I mentioned in this video twice now, he's going to need a ton of modernization. He is an old school villain, but it's nice to hear one that's not a analog for once. You know, hey, you get a new hero and then you get a villain villain that's very similar to that hero, but with one change. This is just classic Marvel, and while we already have a couple of classic Fantastic Four villains in play right now in King, and eventually the Skrulls in Secret Invasion, and also eventually Doctor Doom as well, it would be nice to get some of these classic one-off villains along the way. Mole Man is definitely a one-off, and look, I know there have been a ton of rumors, especially in the last couple of months, as we anticipate a brand new official announcement for some of these castings coming at some point here soon. They're not going to be able to keep the Fantastic Four casting secret forever. There is still a lot to be written. They're in such early talks for things like the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, how this all leads to Secret Wars. And let's not rush it. It took them 10 years to get through the Infinity Saga, and we're literally, 2 or 3 years removed from Endgame, but only a year into the stories now with the delay from COVID. So let it take time to simmer and, build out all these villains and these characters. There's no need to rush into Doctor Doom. There's no need to rush through the entire King multiverse saga. Although I do wonder just a little bit, when they're through with that, how they're going to redo the stakes as we go into a battle world that would technically be a multiverse war as well. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below about this villain, the idea that Mole Man or some of these other classic villains would be reworked in a way. Do you like my theory about how he could possibly be a Subterranea villain using the place that Tiamat was? If you have your own theory, I'm all for it, as always. Quickly, let's jump into the giveaway stuff, what's going on here at the channel. As I reported months ago, I have not been in the most ideal studio situation. I've been in between studios, but I am very happy to report that come Monday, I will be in a very new and permanent studio situation. I'm so excited about it. So we will get back to much earlier posts, especially if you're in East Coast, and we'll be back to 2-a-days as well. Another thing that's been going on at the channel is the WhatsApp scammer. I believe I have addressed it with methods. I haven't seen it in 2 days. But if you do somehow get a comment that says that you want a prize, I would like to verify that that is not true. I announce all winners via videos. I don't go in people's messages or comments. So if you see that and the account says something like WhatsApp me or whatever, just kindly report that comment and or flag it. We are still giving away PlayStations though, among other prizes, as we do comic books, tickets, etc. And we're doing so every 20,000 subscribers all the way up to 1 million. So if you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos the way we're doing here. Again, I don't go in comments and say, hey, you won, hit me up. That's not what's up. So look for announcements at the end of videos. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, with original music, including the background music you're hearing right now. And in fact, the song that's playing while I'm doing this outro is going viral on Spotify right now. So if you want to check it out, check out All Fires. I'd sincerely appreciate it. Thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.